Morning, here at Team Powersports in Raleigh, North Carolina, about to test ride the SRF finally. Looking forward to it. See you afterwards. Well, hey, I apologize for the noise. It's kind of noisy out here, but I just got done riding the Zero SRF, and what can I say besides it's a Zero? It's awesome. The power is effortless. The speed's effortless. There's a lot of things I like, a lot of things I don't like about it compared to the SR. But yeah, overall, great experience and a great ride, really fun. Yeah, so one thing about this bike is the seating position. It's a little bit more forward, I guess, leaned over. The seat, not a fan of it, but I think it would take some time to get used to. You kind of feel like you're being forced forward. There's not a real comfortable, like, natural position, maybe because the seat's not broken in yet. The motor sound. It sounded kind of like what's a good description? Like a scared scream, but like cool sounding at the same time. That's kind of weird, but I mean, it's a Zero. It sounds super futuristic, super weird, but it almost sounded like strained, but it wasn't strained. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. This new battery design with the fins, I like the way it looks, but from a practical perspective, it seems like it would be hard to clean. Like you have to get into each of these individual sections and like clean it down. Other than that, the tank, it's not as annoying as I thought it would be as far as the size, but it is really big. Now I realize I'm beating a dead horse here, and anyone who watches this channel has already seen this bike like 5 times, but the Zero SR is just a much simpler design. There's nothing superfluous that doesn't need to be on the bike. And it's the same exact battery the ZF 14.4 is on this bike as is on the SRF. Only this is just the battery. You know, it's just very smooth, kind of has a neat like texture design, very smooth, easy to clean. One part here you could easily take off, but that's it. There's nothing crazy going on there just for looks. It's just a much more streamlined, smaller bike. Another thing to mention that you probably already know is this comes standard with level 2 charging and storage compartment. So that's cool. But one issue I have with this is that, this is the only way to charge level 1, which is how I charge at home. And the only way, you have to have a J1772 connector, which is pretty big. And there's nowhere to store it on the bike except for in here. Like there is on the SR, there's like a hole down here that you can store it. So that's one disadvantage of this bike, is that if you want to take your level 1 charging cord with you, you have to take up this space, this storage space. It doesn't take up the whole space, but it takes up a little bit. But yeah, this is nice to have, especially if you have a dedicated level 2 charger in your garage. This is really nice because you get this and the storage compartment too. So to my point about the SRF issue with charging, and that it only has a J1772 connector, which looks like that big thing that connects to the top of the bike right here, like I just showed you. And this is my bike in my garage. The Zero, this has a regular cord that plugs in right here to a wall outlet. It's a regular wall outlet. You can wrap the cord up and store it here. So it's kind of nice, neat, stored away, so that way you're not taking up storage space in that space right there. It's all right there, which makes it easy. And note, I bought an extra cord, so I'd always have one in the bike, so I would have to like take it out. Then I have my regular cord that I use just on the ground right there. So that's what I mean by that point. Handling wise, with the bigger rear tire, it was fine. You could definitely feel the weight. It's a bit heavier than the SR, but it was fine, no big deal. One thing I really did like though, with this premium model, is the heated grips. It's about 51 degrees outside right now, and those heated grips are a lifesaver. Very cool. And it also has cruise control, which I complained about my SR not having, which is really nice. So there you have it.
2020 Zero SRF Premium Review. First, the specs and facts. And this is in direct comparison to the SR, which was, and I would argue, still is Zero's top of the line bike. The SRF's peak torque is 140 foot-pounds, up from 116 foot-pounds from the SR. Peak power is 110 horsepower, up from 70 horsepower. Zero claims a top speed of 124 miles per hour, which is increased from 102 miles per hour on the SR. Range numbers actually decrease on the SRF when compared to the SR. Zero claims you will be able to get 161 miles city riding, 109 miles on a combined city highway ride, and 82 miles at a sustained highway speed of 70 miles per hour. In contrast, Zero claims the SR is able to achieve 179, 120, and 90 respectively for the same types of driving, and I have found these numbers to be reasonably accurate in my own SR experiences. The battery on both motorcycles is the same Z-Force lithium-ion cell chemistry with a maximum capacity of 14.4 kilowatt hours and nominal capacity of 12.6 kilowatt hours. On the other hand, Zero created an entirely new motor for the SRF, the Z-Force 75 TAC-10 Enhanced Thermal Efficiency Passively Air-Cooled Interior Permanent Magnet AC motor. The SR carries the Z-Force 75 TAC-7R Passively Air-Cooled High Efficiency Radial Flux Interior Permanent High Temp Magnet Brushless motor. I do not know much about the inner workings of electric motors, just that the SRF's is more powerful, resulting in the increase in torque and power. However, the SRF is less efficient than the SR. The SRF claims 430 miles per gallon E, or miles per gallon equivalent, city, and 219 miles per gallon E highway mileage. Conversely, the SR claims 477 miles per gallon E and 240 miles per gallon E respectively. This loss in efficiency is probably due to the SRF's increased weight over the SR, weighing in at 498 pounds and 419 pounds respectively, which is a 79-pound difference. Both motorcycles have fully adjustable front and rear Showa suspension and Bosch J1 brakes with ABS standard. The SRF has dual rotor front brakes, while the SR has a single rotor front brake. As is standard for Zero motorcycles, both bikes have no clutch and no transmission, as they are direct drive with the motor connected to the rear wheel via a carbon belt. Okay, charging. The SRF comes standard with level 1 and level 2 charging integrated into the bike. The premium trim bike ups the charging capacity to 6 kilowatts versus the standard 3 kilowatts. However, you have to have a level 2 charger capable of producing at least 6 kilowatts of charging. The only charging connection on the bike is the standard J1772 plug, which comes with the motorcycle. However, the cord that comes with the motorcycle can only charge up to 3 kilowatts. So, if you opt for the premium version, make sure you can take advantage of the full 6 kilowatts of charging. There's also a rapid charge option for the SRF, which boosts charging to 12 kilowatts total, but to my knowledge, you would have to plug into 2 separate level 2 chargers at one time. Please correct me if I'm wrong, as Zero's website does not specify, and this is what I've heard word of mouth. The SR, on the other hand, comes standard with level 1 only via an integrated 1.3 kilowatt onboard charger, which uses a standard 3-prong cord that is used to charge the bike. If you want level 2 charging capability on the SR, you have to opt for the charge tank accessory, which goes where the storage compartment sits. That will give you 6 kilowatts plus the 1.3 kilowatts of charging capability. There are scalable quick chargers for the SR that will increase charge speeds as well. Level 1 charge times are not specified for the SRF, but it is most likely similar to the SR, which is 9.8 hours, 0 to 100%. Level 2 charge times get more complicated, and for simplicity, I will just give the 3 kilowatt and 6 kilowatt configuration 0 to 100% charge times. They are 4.5 hours and 2.5 hours respectively. The SR will also charge 0 to 100% in 2.5 hours with the charge tank accessory, but again, you lose the lockable storage compartment with this accessory, whereas on the SRF, you can have both a lockable storage compartment and 6 kilowatts of charging capability. Both bikes have a 2-year limited warranty and a 5-year unlimited miles power pack warranty. Cost of the SRF standard model is $19,495 MSRP. The SRF premium model, which upgrades the integrated 3 kilowatt charger to 6 kilowatts and includes a fly screen, heated hand grips, and aluminum bar ends, costs $21,495 MSRP. The standard SR costs $15,495 MSRP. For a complete list of specifications, visit Zero's website at www.zeromotorcycles.com. Now for my thoughts and opinions. I'm not going to regurgitate all the awesome qualities of riding a Zero motorcycle, or any fast EV for that matter. I will simply say that the SRF, like my SR, delivers a quick, smooth, quiet, and exhilarating riding experience. The effortless torque and power is extremely addicting. Again, you must ride one to fully understand what I'm talking about. Watch my Zero SR review for more in-depth description of what it's like to ride a Zero, and more of my thoughts on why you should ride and or drive electric. Link below. Alright, let's talk about what I like, what I don't like, and what I'm neutral on. What I like. First, the top-end performance. I started out in eco mode just to get a feel for the bike, which was pretty quick in and of itself. Then I quickly switched to sport mode. I would say from 0 to 60, the power and acceleration of the SRF is similar, if not the same, as my SR. I couldn't feel a noticeable difference. What was a noticeable difference was the 60 to 80 plus acceleration and power. The SRF does have 40 more horsepower, and I could definitely feel the difference in acceleration at higher speeds. My SR will go from 60 to 80 quickly, but it just doesn't have the same punch that the SRF has. Huge improvement in motor performance. Second, the integrated level 2 charging capability and storage tank. This is the first Zero to offer standard level 2 charging capability via a J1772 connector, and I think it demonstrates Zero is looking to attract a wider audience. This capability is nice because you retain the large storage compartment, which is my favorite feature on the SR. However, unlike the SR, the only way to charge level 1 is through that J1772 connector. That means if you want to travel with the charge cord, you will have to take up a bunch of storage space or carry a backpack. Once I got used to having all that storage space on my SR, it would suck to not have it all if I had to carry my charge cord in there. Third, the regenerative braking. Both the SRF and the SR have excellent regenerative braking that is in fact customizable through the app. If you want my description of regen, see my SR review. However, the regen on this bike was much more pronounced and slowed the bike down quicker than the SR's does. Even in sport mode, where the regen is limited, it still felt strong. I like that feeling of deceleration when I left the throttle. It feels a lot like engine braking in a gas bike, just much smoother and no shifting, obviously. Fourth, the way the motor sounds. No, electric bikes are not silent, contrary to popular belief. I figured this motor would have the same sound as my SRs. It doesn't. It has a different, but no less cool and unique sound. I would describe it as like a strained moan, but cool and futuristic sounding, if that makes any sense. It was like something out of Star Wars combined with Alien. I don't know. I'm sure you can hear the way it sounds if you watch some other YouTube reviews. Fifth, cruise control. Thank you, Zero. I didn't get an opportunity to use it during my test ride, but I've rode Harleys with cruise control, and it is very helpful. You would think it wouldn't be useful on this type of bike, but most rides I wish my SR had it because I would use it all the time. Finally, the heated grips. Unfortunately, you have to opt for the premium version to get this, and I was told I could get heated grips for my SR, which I may consider in the future. Anyway, it was in the low 50s Fahrenheit and windy. The heated grips made all the difference, and it is really a nice feature. They will, however, lower your range by about 200 yards. Like cars, there are 3 heat settings. The highest I was told will burn your hands, like the highest in a car will burn your butt. I used medium and it was great. Okay, now on to the bad, what I don't like. First, the ergonomics and seat. Zero made the SRF have a more aggressive and leaned over position, which I didn't like or enjoy and didn't get used to on my test drive. To me, it just didn't feel good, and there's really no great way to describe it. The foot peg positions felt weird, and my knees and legs didn't meld into the bike as well as they do on the SR. The seat was another issue. It didn't have what I'll call a natural resting position. My butt wanted to constantly slip forward, and again, I couldn't quite get used to it on the ride. The bike's not uncomfortable by any means. I just prefer the ergonomics and seat of the SR. Second, the design of the bike. Now, this is coming from my minimalistic and practical side, but the design of the bike makes it look like it's trying too hard to be cool and kind of like, hey, look at me, I'm new, blah, blah, blah. Zero says the fins on the battery pack are for better cooling, but a part of me just thinks they did that to make it look different, and with all the nooks and crannies that go along with its design, it's going to be much harder to clean. This dislike is tough because overall I like the way the bike looks, especially in that red. But the large tank and what I'll call busy battery design just seems like a little too much for no good reason. The look of the bike is not a deal breaker. I am just being extremely picky because there aren't too many things I was on the fence about not liking. Side note, the motor does look really cool. Okay, finally, no charge cord storage except the tank, and I'm going to beat this one on the head. This one is extremely picky and probably something only I'll complain about since I solely rely on level 1 charging for my Zero SR. But the only way to charge level 1 on the SRF is through the big J1772 connection, and unlike the SR, which has a place underneath the bike to store your cord, the SRF doesn't. What I'm neutral on. First, no level 3 charging. This is one of the biggest complaints of the SRF from electric motorcycle riders. I think Zero didn't include level 3 because of cost savings. The Livewire has level 3 but costs $30,000. And that they know enough about the market and their customers that this wasn't a deal breaker. Level 3 is great in theory, but you can't do it at your home. You have to pay for it. It still takes 30 minutes to an hour to charge, and the stations are still few and far between in most parts of the country. Zero would have to build proprietary level 3 chargers every 80 miles along highways, kind of like the Tesla supercharger network, for this to be a real game changer. Second, the display. It's new, it has more customizable features, and it changes colors. Whatever, it's fine. Third, the stability and traction control features. Useful, but only if you ride like an idiot in bad conditions. Fourth, the handling. You can feel the extra weight of the bike, but it's fine. The handling's fine. Finally, the controls. The controls are a lot more complicated than the other Zero motorcycles, but after a few rides, I would have them down. No problem. In conclusion, no, I'm not going to trade in my 2018 SR for a brand new SRF. There just isn't enough new features or anything different I'm crazy about. Plus, the standard starts out just under $20,000, which is just too much money, even with my trade-in. Overall, for the uninitiated to electric motorcycles, I think it is a great product and motorcycle that will attract many new riders to Zero, and electric motorcycles in general. Again, my one piece of advice is to find your nearest Zero dealer and go test drive one. You just won't get it until you test drive one. You won't regret it, and you may not want to go back to your gas bike again. Just warning you.
Thank you to Team Powersports in Raleigh for letting me take it for a ride. And see you next time, I guess.